The It's Just Network presents It's Just Us,
where we go back and forth,
or side by side on topics to make you think deeper.
But no matter how much we debate or disagree with each other, always remember,
it's just opinions,
it's just laughs,
it's just love,
and most importantly, it's just us.
It's gonna get heavy. Let's be honest. It has. I don't know if it's been like this for everybody else, but I know for a fact, especially like for me and a lot of people in my group, even customers that'll come walking past telling me little tidbits of their life. It has been a rough year for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been for you? Can you agree?
In some areas, not all areas, but
okay, I can agree with you on that. Yes,
I guess it's a good thing that's what we're here to talk about today. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and run through the past year, and then maybe even talk a little bit about what we like to see from this year. Happy New Year's to you. I guess if we starting with me, well, I started January 1st of this year. I mean last year, since that's last year now. Sick, still, no job. Because I got sick, I had to leave my job.
Are we going to get into a little bit about how your job and how much it was working you over time got you to that point of being sick?
Well, it wasn't that I was working overtime, because I was working hours. Like,
how many hours?
I was working full-time hours, like 45. I had 2 days off. It's just they were never next to each other. So I had like 1 day off twice a week.
So you say 45, but we're not talking about commute because you had to go from store to store to store.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can talk about it. I was in retail sales, and I was working at 5 different stores for this company. And yeah, they ain't really let us take days off. To be exact, the only way you could get a day off, and now if y'all say this is reasonable, then I'll say, hey, other people say this is reasonable. But the only way you can get off is to be able to find somebody else that work at the job that'll take your shift. But then, of course, you got to take one of their shifts. So it's not like you really like off. You kind of just changed when you was working. And outside of that, it wasn't no days off. And my specific days off were Tuesday and Sunday.
Okay, so basically, there was no leave that the company offered for you to be able to utilize. It was always either find somebody to take your shift or we'll see you on Monday at 8.
Correct.
Yeah.
Even if you were sick, you couldn't even call out if you didn't have a doctor's note.
There was wasn't that dude where his dad had died?
Yeah, I did have a coworker whose dad passed from COVID. In the hype of the pandemic, like in the middle of all that, because we were still working, because in the item that I sold, apparently it was a necessity. Yeah, his dad died, and he was off about a week, and then they started asking him, like, all right, when you come back to work? And of course, he quit. But yeah, that's the type of job it was. And it wasn't like a when you come into work, like, are you feeling all right? It was like, we need to see you here. But yeah, I left them. But that was before last year started. But I got sick, because I'm not explaining what happened to me, because we started talking about other dude. But I got sick. Really, in my opinion, it's because when we went to Europe and we came back, my stomach was just having a hard time adjusting back to this food, plus the medicine I was taking. And I just needed to go to a doctor, but I could never get the time off to go to a doctor. But I was just throwing up every single day, in the morning, sometimes at night, sometimes multiple times a day. Unfortunately, you had to hear that every morning. But yeah, I couldn't get no time off to like get help or anything. So I had to quit so I could actually start like getting doctor's appointments. And yeah, I ain't go back, because at that point, why would you go back if that's what you experienced?
You were getting paid
a decent amount.
A decent amount. Okay, what was it on the average month and the highest month?
I don't want to talk about dollar amount.
You don't want to?
No.
Okay.
But Yeah, I was getting paid, nice for what I was doing. But it still ultimately wasn't going to be worth getting back into that same position. And then, at this point, like, now they really ain't going to have no sympathy for you. You know how the structure is. So you knew before you even came back, it wasn't no days off. So there's no point in complaining about it. There's no days off now. And then try to start up a business venture.
Wait. You're losing me a little bit.
Okay.
So what happened in January? Because is this like before? Because you said like the year from before, you were already sick, had to quit your job.
I was jobless is what I said.
Oh.
Yeah. But then you wanted me to explain the job part. So that's how we got back there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in January, at that point, I'm jobless because I had quit the other job in November. And now we finally getting like the procedures and stuff. I got to get stuff that, I ain't supposed to have to deal with certain stuff like that at my age.
Okay, I wanted to ask you because I don't know if there was like some HIPAA stuff going on. But because I know the name of the procedure. When I told my friend about it, she was like, he's only 25 getting that procedure? It was that bad? And I was
you can say it. I just forgot.
Colonoscopy?
Yeah, I had to get a colonoscopy. And you ain't supposed to be getting nothing like that.
At 25,
in your 20s. They knock you out, though, for those that's a little scared of it. You don't have to worry about you're good. But yeah, that was crazy. That was real crazy times. And to be honest, I did think like, oh, maybe I'm done and we don't know this yet. But
listen, waking up to you every morning, throwing up because you can't keep anything down. I think like something that could be described as similar was IBS. But even then, they still didn't have any specific diagnosis. They literally kept just assigning you some type of pain relief, but it never got to the cause.
Yeah.
But with the colonoscopy, they finally did let you know you're not dying. You ain't got nothing really wrong with you.
Yeah.
And somehow, whatever that was there,
it eventually just worked itself out.
Yes.
Just unfortunately, 7-8 months later. But in the end, that was real frustrating. But after that, because we had already left that job, I was applying for other jobs, and I happened to get like 3 for 3, job offers, and I chose the one that I felt was best for me at the moment because they all was good in their own way, but all of them had cons in their own way.
And then, were you also during that time period like doing the podcasts and trying to set up time for that?
Yeah, because we started the podcast. We did a trailer in March, like late March.
Yes.
And then we started the podcast in April. So yeah, that was around the time where I was doing like the job applications and stuff. And that's where we landed. And yeah, 2 of the 3 I was really on the fence about. But, when I chose that one, it was like, it's just going to make the most sense if we're going to do it long term, potentially. But didn't really expect like the amount of work that was going to come with it. Cause like now you're like in a career job. Like all the other jobs were like jobs that you could be in a career, like you could make it a career. But you know how like some jobs are like optional and then like some jobs like it's obvious, like this is supposed to be like a career. This is like one of the jobs where it's like, it's clearly supposed to be a career. This ain't like supposed to be one of them, like you hop in 1-2 years and then you kind of hop out. At that point, you're wasting time. But it definitely was more attention than I was expecting it was going to need. So that did affect the podcast a lot because there would be times where we supposed to be recording and now I'm just exhausted, like extremely exhausted. Don't want to talk. And we do a podcast. I got to talk. And then we went to Dreamville in April. That caused a break in the podcast because I got sick. Which we discussed in episode 1, I believe.
Was that episode?
I think that was the first episode.
I think it was.
Whichever episode we talk about Dreamville, that's the episode. Dreamville Fest, that's the episode where we talk about that. But yeah, I got sick, so then that podcast was delayed because we were actually going to do like 2 podcasts that weekend for each day we went. That was the original plan. We had all the equipment in the hotel, even set it up. But my body it was going through it. We missed our first flight. And we was there on time.
I blame crystals, but I understand it was a little bit of both. It was a little bit of your own situation, but also crystals ain't make it better for whatever food handling practices they got enough. So I'll rest my case, even though it wasn't a case that was presented.
But then, yeah, after that, we got that episode out. And that episode, in my opinion, still in terms of visually, that first episode looks really nice. Like the lighting was good. Like it looked really high quality. We just, with everything that needed to be perfect for that set to go right, we could not duplicate it again. Like we went through a lot just trying to duplicate that one thing. And the first time, like we recorded like episode 1 like 4 or 5 times.
We did.
Like podcasting really not sweet.
We did the hair and makeup, just the outfits every single time.
Yeah.
We had to make sure it was.
We had to make sure nothing got dirty. And every single time it was something wrong. The light's not working. We lost a SD card. The camera battery is not charged.
Or it was also that time period that we was doing the photo shoots. And we want to do photo shoots.
And a podcast.
Video podcasts, audio podcasts, and also do the marketing.
And in the beginning, it really was just us. We didn't have no editor or nothing. So we was really trying to like do all of that. Plus me starting a new job. It was almost impossible because unfortunately, I hadn't like got to the point where I could like show Steph how to like edit and stuff in terms of like the audio podcast. So if I wasn't available to edit it, it was just sitting. It was just sitting.
I learned too. He actually taught me.
Yeah.
And now I want to over edit. I'm understanding this.
Yeah.
But
we're going to say that for yours.
Okay. But my stuff be sounding crisp when I do it. But
It do.
I do.
But after about April, I was working like the one job that I was like transitioning in to.
See, do you kind of feel bad about that? Because I did it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to ask if everybody else did it.
Okay.
You pick up a job knowing that you're gonna leave in about a month. You just need someone to tide you over until the end, like month, 2 months max. I feel like that's fair, but I wanted to ask: do you still feel, sometimes bad about it? Because it wasn't a bad company that you worked for.
I don't necessarily feel bad about it. Like, the thing about companies like that is you only gonna burn them once. Like, so it's like I just know I'm not gonna get a chance there again because I went in there. We all kind of had a good like face when we getting into a job that's gonna make us look like, if you good, the perfect candidate.
Yes.
So, I went in there and I worked that month, but the thing with them is there's a ceiling, and I don't really like jobs with pay ceilings. So it's like I got to work here a couple of years or months to be able to be just in asking you for a raise, or I can just go to this other company where I don't have a pay ceiling.
You like, because you a salesperson at heart. You like unlimited, uncapped commission, especially.
Well, on top of that, it's like, if you're going to do the hours, like if I'm going to do the hours and I'm going to commit to it, then I need to feel like I'm getting paid what it's worth, because I don't like working. So the money is important. Like, I'm not one of the people that like pretend like the money is not important. Like, if when it comes to working, to me, the money's the most important. I can do the passionate stuff for free myself. I don't want to have to go to work and now like, yeah, I'm loving this, but I'm making $5 an hour. Like,
ooh, you talking about like I'm service?
That's rough to me, and that don't feel like time well spent.
Or Uber, DoorDash, those type of jobs.
So I do feel bad that I may not be able to get the opportunity back. But in terms of like the pros and the cons of like which job I was going to choose, plus I had the other job. So like either way, that job was in third place, regardless, because both of the other places didn't really have pay ceilings.
Gotcha. So this is the right reason why you chose like the job that you're at currently.
Correct.
Okay.
So no, I don't really necessarily feel bad about leaving, but because I did do that, because the thing is with the first job, even if you're in the training part, you have to pay attention or they're going to know you're not paying attention and you're just there for the money. So I wasn't able to really edit the podcast then. Now when I'm actually supposed to like start making money is actually when like, not when I'm supposed to start making money, but actually start doing the job out of training is when I actually quit to start working at the next job. So now I got to go through training again.
I'm about to say these jobs, since I ain't got no names, I'm getting lost.
Hey, It's Just family. It's Patrick, one half of the It's Just Us show. And thank you for listening. I hope you're having an amazing day. Do not forget to follow us on all platforms in the descriptions below. Keep listening to the show. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to leave a review and a rating. And share what your favorite topic was for this episode. And when you post it, don't forget to tag us so we can repost it. Thank you for listening. We're going to get right back to the episode.
Okay. I'll do job A and job C.
Okay.
No, job A and job B.
Okay.
So A is where I started. B is where I went to afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, let me check the time. After I left job A, basically when I was leaving job A, I was at the point of where I was actually going to be out of training and now actually working the floor. That's when I quit. So basically, I went from there to now I would have been out of training where I technically could have been editing the podcast a little more to now I'm back in training at the next place. But their training is way more intense. And they like, you got to have 100% to even get to the floor in terms of passing grades. Mm-hmm. So now I'm in a whole nother month of not in a place to where I can edit the podcast. I'm always working again. Then I get out of that, but now I'm understanding, oh, this is like a career job. Like I really got to put in hours here. Less time to edit the podcast. Now by then, that's when we were first like getting our editor. Shout out Jalen. Getting our editor. Things started to get smoother, but then I'm in a place where it's like, oh, I also got to work sometimes on the weekend. So the times we were planning on recording got reduced a lot because now I'm also working on the weekend. And now which I know you'll be able to explain more on your side, but now you're also a full-time student. And you're a full-time student with classes. So you doing a lot of work too. So
about 5 of them.
We really got a quarter of Saturday and Sunday to hopefully pull something off. And we got to record, listen, have the notations, send it to the editor, listen again, probably make one more round of notations, get it finalized, then post it. So there's a lot that have to be done because technically for every 1 hour episode we make, it's got to be played and listened to about 3 times before it's even out. That's 3 hours. But we eventually kind of got it because I was able to kind of get more acclimated to my job because at first it was really whooping me. It was rough. It was crazy. I didn't think I was going to stay. But I also don't like quitting. Like I'm not like a quitter. So if I was going to leave, it was going to have to be like I performed at a max, but I still ain't rock with it. And then I left. But because I wasn't performing at a max, it wasn't going to make me feel just in quitting. So I did not stay. And, we still there. But now we just in that building phase. And it's kind of like I was telling my friend, because he asked, like, where do you feel like you are right now in life? And it was like, you've conquered a lot of mountains. Now I just feel like I'm at the next mountain that has to be conquered. Like I'm back at a mountain. I'm back at the bottom of a mountain, but I didn't fall. I'm just at a new mountain that I got to go over. So I feel like we at 75% of that mountain. I feel like by March, we're going to feel like we conquered it.
March of
this year.
Okay.
Yeah. March 2024, we're going to feel like we conquered it. But these next 3 months, we're going to be extremely busy. So I'm going to be working like 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours. We're going to figure it out though. Yeah, that's really my year. It's just been getting out of that sickness and getting back into working and now getting back into a place to where like I'm killing work because I usually kill work, but this time it's like a real versus. In terms of the health part, I was able to kind of build that consistent. So with doing like exercise daily. So like this year, I really plan on like upping it because I was already doing like 30 to 45 minutes a day, or like 20 to 45 because some days it would be shorter. 20 to 45 minutes a day, excluding Sundays sometimes. So there's already like a habit built for the health part. And then for the job part, we just keep going. And then for the podcasting, when I'm able to get out of this, I really plan on us like ramping that up too.
Oh, 100%.
You got anything you would like to ask?
I think, because I've kind of been with you like throughout this whole entire process, and I've seen you like, you know, at your highest, your lowest, and I've seen you kind of overcome a lot of things that could have broken another person down. And I don't know, it's been a wild journey to actually be a witness of, but at the end of everything that you've been able to do, and even with the things that kind of have to be pushed on the back burner for now, what would you say kind of explains the whole year for you?
Here's a word we really used a lot in the last month, and I'd probably say resilience. Resilience and prosperity. Because you're right, it's a lot of times where it was like, I would rather just throw a lot of stuff away. Like, I don't even know if I really like this type of lifestyle. Like, and you be saying stuff dumb. Like, I don't even know if I really like traveling like that. Like, do I really care about money? Because, like, it'd be really whooping you down. Like, stuff really come from all different directions, and you got to just figure it out. But ultimately, that self-confidence is going to always help you kind of push through. Even if, like, it can be lacking at sometimes, once you get that first, like, flame that really sparks, if you can just hold on to it, you can get through.
That's amazing. And
appreciate that.
I'm just proud of you. I am.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud. Because I know you are more than likely going to be able to say that back to me once I get through all of our stuff. But as a united front dog, if I have you as a partner, and just that ability to be a grounding force, I feel like you helped tide us both through all of these spontaneous transitions that we were going through.
I appreciate that. And vice versa. Like, I know for a fact, it was definitely times where it's like, I'm looking at the stuff you going through, and it's like, my stuff feel wild, but it's like, dang. like they really got you again. Like, that's crazy. Especially with, like, your last little quarter. Your last quarter of 2023, like, wow.
It was like God started throwing cards out.
Nah, I really be saying, like, God a comedian sometimes, because it's like, if he already know what's going on, he got to chuckle at some stuff. But yeah, I know you're going to explain, so I don't really want to unfold nothing too early, but looking at you go through stuff and, like, of course it'll phase you and you'll have your time, but you always kind of regroup yourself and you kind of like whip yourself in shape. And even if you're going through stuff like the things that are mandatory that you have to get done to kind of keep going forward, you typically take care of like that. In the times where I felt like, bro, I'm not going to keep doing this, like that really did help me push forward. Like, so don't feel like I was the only one kind of like keeping the boat steady, because you was holding your part as well, like 100%. And I appreciate you likewise. Because yeah, last year was crazy. I think my first half was the craziest for me, but I think your second half was the craziest for you. So together, it just felt like it was always something crazy going on now.
It was a whole wild.
It was always like the whole year. Every single month, it was just like, wow, something else. Like every single month.
But that's the one thing that I will say, we always return back to the podcast. And that's the thing too, where
that was something that like we were both really serious on.
Yes.
That we really wanted to do and we enjoyed.
Yes. And that's where you build the passion for doing something, where you just do it. You just put it out. You just actually take the time and understand that if you don't make time regardless, even if you haven't been doing it in like 2-3 months, you still have to put the effort in and just do it.
Yeah.
So,
because that's the thing, even though it would take like sometimes like one episode might take like 3 weeks to get done, because 2 weeks in a row something go crazy. Like something just happens. And
We
it's just
lose
like,
a song.
bro, we had one day, bro. We planned on recording in like a nice destination. Get up, both the car batteries dead. Like, yo, for real?
We had to call AAA. I remember that. Oh my God. You had to pay for AAA just to get them to come out. That's crazy.
We had to buy a membership just to get the battery replacement because we couldn't go get a battery because both the cars was dead.
And we were not going to pay the $249 plus.
No.
But we did for one of the cars.
Yeah.
But not for both.
Yeah. That was crazy. Originally, this is the last thing I'm going to say, but just so people can like know the thought process. Originally, the plan was for us to always be like in another location recording.
Yes.
Like we was going to have this as like of course, like this the main set. But every once in a while, be like in a different location, in a different environment, just talking because we enjoy traveling. We enjoy kind of just sitting in nature and stuff like that. But so many things kind of was going on that we kind of just understood like, all right, we probably need to just keep it in here and figure it out as much as possible.
Yes.
But stuff was still happening just in the house. Like it was just crazy and it never stopped. But I'm really looking forward to this year because things that would have made me nervous like this time last year, I'm kind of like looking forward to. So
I agree.
It's understanding that we kind of like almost in that place, like I said, where you kind of go over the hill and now you just getting that breeze down because you going down, like the straining is over. So
the energy feels lighter. I don't know if
exactly
you feel like that. I know for other people, maybe they have other situations happening that's causing heaviness or is still prolonging is duration. But I think overall for us, especially after how much stuff that we went through for 2023, well, 2022 leading into 2023, and now finally getting to 2024, it feels like that home stretch.
Yeah, I think accountability played a big part.
Oh, completely.
Because kind of halfway through the year, I was understanding like, yeah, I'm upset about like where everything is right now, and I was expecting way more. But I also had to kind of understand you ain't put in max output. Like I wasn't going as hard as I could have. And when I realized that and I started going as hard as I could have, certain things finally started to turn. And it's kind of like when you understand that, like sometimes when you're so good at things, you kind of put a cap on your effort because you're used to that instant gratification without having to put out the max output. Like to you did about a C plus, but to everybody else, you just went crazy. Like, so I think this was a job where it's like, I had to understand like, nah, you really got to come get it. And once I understood that and I realized that like, I wasn't just going to be able to typically do my little sweet talk and everything just work out. It became a lot easier to get it done. So I'm real grateful for that. And yeah, I'm just excited for this year.
I'm glad. When we thought of how we wanted to end this season, I think I'm really glad that we chose to discuss the past year because that specific word, resilience, people really don't understand just how much can be cultivated as long as you have resilience and determination.
Correct.
It leads to the action being done regardless of what's happening. It leads to that consistency that you need, right?
Yeah.
But with resilience is understanding that no matter what is thrown at you, you're going to keep going and hitting that goal.
Yeah.
And it's that determination, that action that leads to it. But both of that is definitely what we got from 2023. And
Facts.
I couldn't do it with anybody else but you.
Facts. Like, it was like this year, last year really went so much different than we planned on it going. Like, in almost every aspect. Like, we planned on traveling a lot, was home majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We planned on doing certain things. I planned on like putting music in my car. Cars weren't even working. Like, I thought I was going to be making X amount, was making maybe a ninth of that.
For your age range, you was making higher than average, but we'll leave it alone. It makes sense.
We've been past that for a while, though.
Yes.
And the bills that we created reflect that.
Yes.
So it wasn't the time to kind of like really decrease income like that. But I am glad that I did it in a time where we had put a decent amount
We put a
in
decent amount in savings. We
Yeah.
did.
It
was able to tide us over for like 5 months,
a lot.
5-6 months. It was.
I'd say about 6.
It was just it couldn't have tied us over for 12 months of BS.
Nah, I wasn't gonna do it.
We did not have enough.
Not 12 months. And we ain't, and that's the hard part. Like, cause I did have to go to like mom. Like, I ain't gonna be like the kid that act like he had to get everything. Like, I had to ask mom for help a little bit in that. And it's like, you really do be asking. Like, you already know in your head they're gonna ask like, why you ain't have nothing saved. It's like, I had a lot.
I had a lot. You don't
saved.
understand.
Like, we could have called you in January. Like, but that's another reason to be thankful. Like, in ways we could have felt, we had support. Still grateful we didn't need it till literally like the very last month.
Yep.
But this year is going to be way different. And in terms of savings, I want what we originally planned on being savings to be like times 10. That's like my new goal. Like,
I want to be able to like be like a year and a half. Where we
just chilling if we need to.
Yeah. Like, not chilling. Like, at least one of us maybe working a little bit. But like,
yeah. I don't think with what happened, I don't think I'll stop working for a long time. Like, yeah.
The security.
Yeah.
Security.
Yeah. Plus the benefits we got now and the things we're going to be able to do.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for listening to my episode because that's really what was going on with me. Got sick, lost a job, got another job. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it's still not bad. And we going to really figure this out. And season 2 of the podcast is going to be better. It's going to be more fluid, more consistent. And we appreciate everybody that's rocked with us this far. What's that?
It's like a little Korean heart.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a heart.
Oh, okay. I saw it. Appreciate you.
What's up, y'all? It's Stephanie, co-host of the It's Just Us podcast, and we appreciate you all for tuning into our conversations. Now, we talk about trending news, entertainment, and even topics our members put in the Discord. So hit the link in the description below to join the community and participate in the selection process. We love you guys.